Good morning. I hope everyone's having a beautiful Saturday. And hopefully you're still chewing on some turkey or ham or roast or whatever you have for Thanksgiving. You got your coffee and you guys are ready to roll. Today we have a special guest, Mr. Inferno217. Give it up, give it up.
Yo, yo, yo. Making my triumphant return to podcasting. It's been a hot minute since I've done a podcast.
Right?
I think I did Merck's podcast, Ultra Preset. I think that was the last one I did, and that was like 4-ish months ago, I think. So yeah, I've been busy, man. It's podcasts. I would love to get back on them, but just been, life's been crazy, especially with this whole situation we're dealing with. But let's not get into that. Let's talk about games, right? Let's be positive here. Come on now.
Well, you're always welcome here. So even after today, you're always welcome to come back.
All right,
open invitation.
All right, I'll be a grown woman for
Right?
Saturday.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do you up like they did the Marvel characters with the nails and the bonnets and shit.
Oh, let's do it.
Oh,
I'll throw a
man.
wig on. That's fun.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna do our intros and then we'll have a couple of questions for Inferno, and then we'll get in our regular topics and and whatnot. So let's get started. Ladies, let's start with your intros, and we can start with Miss CHAREECE.
What's up, everybody? Thank y'all for joining us today. Thank you, my arch enemy, Inferno, for joining us today, but we're not gonna go into that.
Oh, damn. All right. Okay.
But it's nice to have you. We will retain a peaceful existence for today only. Today
Perfect.
only.
Deal.
But yes, this Thanksgiving has been an interesting affair. When I was not sick, I played a little bit of Valhalla. Tetris. Tetris is the bomb, y'all. Y'all should really download that game. It's so relaxing and nerve-wracking all at the same time. What else did I play?
So I heard something happened with your Valhalla too, but really quickly, what happened?
Oh my God. So I don't know if my cousin did it or if I actually lost it, but I lost about 5 hours of gameplay.
Wow.
I noticed it last night when I went to actually play my game because I let my cousin play it because he was the only boy at the house full of women. I was like, here, dude, you need something to do before we put you in here making ham or something. So I let him play, and he had started a whole new character and he had to start a new save file. But when I went to go play last night, when I finally got home, I could not. I was literally I had lost about 5 hours of gameplay, side quests, exploring, and all that stuff. So I had to basically redo all of that and then catch back up. So I don't know which one it is. I've made sure to resave it. I've made sure to.
So do you keep automatic save file and then a regular save file? Because I feel like there's, you just have one of them. You know what I mean?
When I play, I have automatically save files, and then I periodically manually save.
Yes.
Right.
So I'm assuming he's maybe saved over my manual save, or maybe.
But then the other one should have been there. That's what I mean. That's why I feel like it. It might have been something with the game.
That's I'm hoping it's not, but I'm sort of thinking that's what it was, because his save file is still there, and I was able to not save over it. I was able to choose just when I wanted to save. So I'm thinking the game actually it lost it some kind of way.
Well, we'll make sure we keep an eye out on the post.
Yeah. But other than that, that's basically all I've been playing. So.
All right, I'll do it real quick. I'll say what I was playing. I played Orwell, All Eyes on You edition. I guess it's about a government security company, third party that goes through your information to find out crimes and stuff. And there's two endings, right? One is that I'm a hero to the company, or I'm wanted by the company. You know what I mean? Because I did some stuff that you have to do a decision on, like a real decision, and it goes from there. That was on PC. I enjoyed that. Also, I played some Spider-Man Miles Morales. It was pretty good. Sometimes I feel like I play like buns, but I'm trying. My web slinging got a little bit better, so I like that. I wasn't too much off the ground this time around. Did a lot of like side stuff so I can be able to level up my character. So when I hit the main missions, I'm gonna be OP. What else did I play? As you see the gameplay here, we had a GWG community game day. We played some Tetris Effect, Connected Effect, one of the two, but it was multiplayer. I really enjoyed playing this, but I thought it was gonna be 4-person co-op, but it's really like 2-3 people co-op. So I love the colors. I love how they changed it up. The music is fire. I can just listen to the soundtrack of Tetris, to be honest with you. I enjoyed it. And this particular mode is like zodiac signs, and we got to fight against them. They out here with that super cheese, but it was fun. I grinded on Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War all day Thanksgiving. I was on Newtown all day getting all the little new booty. I'm telling you, it was like people, I don't know, this game, this map came out 5 times, you know what I'm saying? And there's people that still don't know how to play that map. I'm like, this is, as soon as I realized that you don't know this map, I'm like, this is easy pickings. Leveled up, and then played some Modern Warfare on the other day with LBOOGIE, yesterday actually, and we did pretty good as far as Warzone is concerned. We had a little couple of haters in there, and because they just hate to see some people get their ass whooped, and some people don't have good sportsmanship. But hey, we continue to game on, and I think that Warzone game was like the best game I ever played with LBOOGIE. So it was.
Yeah, I'm wondering why Inferno will never come to our Warzone nights. I don't know. I feel like he thinks we're not worthy.
Yeah.
Oh man, what, you wouldn't want me on Warzone? I'm trash. If you look at my stats in Warzone, I'm just no bueno, as Lady would say.
But that's all I did. I think, yeah, that's it. Oh, Nightcall. I'm sorry, Nightcall. Xbox Game Pass game. It's about this taxi driver trying to solve this murder, and you got to go pick up people and make money as a taxi driver. So I'm trying to solve this murder, but I'm broke now because I'm worrying about solving the murders and not making no money as a taxi driver. So I'm like, but they got some good stories, like deep, thought-provoking life situation stories, and I'm gonna at least finish the first story, but I'm enjoying that as well. Okay, I'm sorry. That's enough. I'll finish.
Okay. Also for me, I've been playing. This is Delilah HD here. I've been playing Valhalla and Destiny 2. I just hit the was it 1230 light level or power level? It's called power level now, right? Yeah. Yeah. It's the grind. You know, classic Destiny grind. I'm loving Europa though. I absolutely love the area, the new edition. I think it's fire. I'm loving some of the new weapons and exotics and things like that. The sword is still the best.
I'm digging the inclement weather that they did there. I'm hoping that they bring that to, other new planets that I'm sure that will be coming, Yeah,
because that snowstorm be so thick, man. Like you can barely see like what's in front of you. It's so realistic. Like I love it. Let's see what that's pretty much it as far as gaming is concerned. I definitely enjoyed Thanksgiving. Of course this year was subdued, because of obvious reasons, but it was still fun. Enjoyed cooking, various things for the fam, and yeah, so it's cool. That's it for me.
All right, did we get everybody?
I think did CHAREECE go already?
No, I think she went first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I went already.
I think that's everybody.
Yeah. All right, cool. So let's get into our special guest interview with Inferno. Now, I just have a couple of questions. I know that I gave these to you beforehand, so you should be ready.
Oh, geez. Here we go.
All right. So basically, what got you into video games? Was it like a parent, a sibling? What made you want to enter the realm of video games?
So my family is kind of like a weird situation because I have a brother who's 11 years older than me. So I guess that's not too weird nowadays, but like when I was growing up, that was super weird that I had this older brother that,
right,
everyone just assumed was my cousin and or like, was just a really like close family friend or something, and it was my brother and he just had all these cool things. And obviously video gaming was one of them. He was already set into going into a career of computers like right away. He would, program on Ataris and, do all this crazy stuff that I thought was just so cool back in the day. But then in retrospect, I look back at it and I'm like, you wrote that many lines of code to make that turtle dance? But anyway, so he
shade.
So I mean, it was crazy for back then, but like, I don't know, you look at it now, it's like, wow, that's what it was back in, late 80s, early 90s. But he had an NES, and so my dad was super into technology as well, and he was super into video games as well. Like, he would sit down with my brother and play like everything and everything. And so we had like a ton of NES games, like a ridiculous amount, actually. I think at one point I can remember as a kid having like 400 and something cartridges of NES games. Yeah, it was just a ridiculous amount. Like, a new game came out, my dad was all about it, which, was awesome for my brother because he usually paid for the stuff. Yeah, he was the kid. He was a little kid. Yeah, you got that right. And so I just had such a wide variety of stuff to try out, usually suck at, being that young and all. Because at the time I was only like 5. But got into some Nintendo franchises, obviously. Super Mario Bros. Super easy to get into even as a kid. But there was some harder stuff that I really enjoyed, like the Mega Man series. Those games, even now, super punishing. And like, I was a huge Nintendo head. Like, I was definitely like dead set on only having Nintendo stuff. Grabbed a Game Boy when I saved up enough like allowance money to do it. And then like the Genesis came around and I was like, damn, like, listen to how this sounds. Look at these graphics. Like, look at, like all the old classics,
Yeah, that's probably like one of those sounds that everybody like still is like, gives you the feels, that Sega boot up,
Oh, hell yeah. And so I fully transitioned into Sega, like, had all the Sonic games. It was just like amazing to me how fast everything was on Sega versus Nintendo. I don't know if that makes sense, but like, I feel like Sega kind of just ushered in, just fast, like gut wrenching, like heart pounding gameplay. And that really, got me stoked for it, to the point where I was such a Sega head that even when the N64 came out, I was only like, what was that? I was like 10 years old, I think, when the N64 came out. And I know CHAREECE is like, damn, you young. But but the N64 came out and I was like, I don't even know if I want this. Like, I was all about Sega. I was like, I said to my brother Dan the Jizzle, who we play with game nights every once in a while, I said to him, listen, you can take that 64 if we get it for Christmas. I'm good with my Sega 32X CD. Right. And he was just like, all right, I'm holding you to that. Right.
Damn.
And of course,
he get over.
Yeah, of course, we get that first Christmas. My mom somehow found it. It was like impossible. It's kind of like the situation now, right? The N64s were like impossible to find. People camping out, all this crazy shit. That and like Tickle Me Elmo, I think, during that season.
Oh man, yeah.
And Christmas Day comes around, we open this thing up and there's the 64, and he's like, no, of course, he's like, nope, you said you don't need this is mine. And I was like, of course, I was like, no, that's bullshit, flipping out, right? And then the N64 era came around and I did the same damn thing for like the next few consoles too. Like, even when, like, I know PlayStation came before, but even when PlayStation got like super popular, I was like, nope, I'm good with this. Oh, when Saturn came out initially, I was like, nope, I'm good with this. And then instantly regretted it. So now, like, I make sure I get, I it's my hobby, I'm gonna grab everything. So, this time around specifically, grab the PS5, grab the Xbox Series X no matter what. And, it was tough, but
so you secured both?
I got both. Yep. Okay, I got both. Okay. I got the digital PS5.
Now I'm like regretting not getting it, just because like you said, like that
hard
missing out. You're like, FOMO,
FOMO, hardcore, yeah, FOMO, yeah, exactly. And I never had that when I was a gamer as a kid. Like, I was so content with stuff that was out at the moment. Like, I was still, PlayStation would be out, Saturn would be out, and I'm still, you know, playing like Knuckles Chaotix on my 32X. You know what I mean? It's like, and totally fine with that. And I don't know, I'm a totally different gamer now, and I know we'll kind of probably get into that. But like, that's how I got into gaming. I just had that exposure when I was younger from my older brother, who had just all these NES games, just from the most obscure to like the most popular, obviously, and you know, just got a great rounded like exposure to all kind of genres, you know.
So you say you and your brother are 11 years apart. Now, does your brother still play games at all, or?
Yeah, he plays PC primarily. His kids, like, we made sure, you know, the good uncles made sure to hook the kids up with the, you know, the cool Xboxes and stuff. So he, you know, dabbles with that, but he doesn't have his own Xbox. He has a decently nice gaming PC. So he, so he plays on PC, and, you know, with crossplay and stuff, we've been playing together a lot more lately, you know, with like Sea of Thieves or like Elite Dangerous. He's into that kind of stuff, like No Man's Sky. But yeah, like he was, you know, he kind of ushered me into gaming, and I'll never let him forget that, because sometimes he's like, no, you know, I wasn't as big of a gamer, and trying to, like, you know, not show his wife, you know, that he was that big of a gamer, and trying to kind of hide it. But you know what? He was a hardcore gamer, right? Own it.
Yeah. And see, I never understood that. Like, I think, you know, I revere gaming so much. I don't understand why people are embarrassed by it or try to use it as like, no, I don't do that sort of thing.
Now it's only now that it's cool. You know what I mean? Like,
that's a good point.
Yep. And especially like what this podcast is all about, grown women gamers, like, you know, and what we kind of talked about pre-show a little bit, like gaming for women was always especially seen as like such a pariah. And now it's like, you know, there's groups like this, and there's groups, you know, groups everywhere that kind of embrace it, and it's seen as like a really acceptable thing, and that's really cool.
All right. So now that we have a little bit of your background with gaming, what is like your favorite part about gaming? Is it like the conventions? Is it, you know, let's say just playing together, crossplay, stuff like that? Or, you know, tell us. What is your
bringing
favorite
you
part?
Back, basically. What's bringing you back to gaming?
Yeah. Back in the day, I would say it was like playing something different, like grabbing something and playing something different, just checking it out, you know, in game, like game
innovation.
Sorry.
So like the innovation.
Innovation. Yeah. The innovation and the and just the changing landscape of it. But kind of, I don't know, like recently with a lot like Assassin's Creed. I know we'll talk about Assassin's Creed. We'll talk about Watchdogs a little bit, but like those games, you know, the innovation's, you know, there, but it's definitely not like a linear scale, you know. So a lot of it's like the same old. But if you enjoy that kind of game, you're gonna love it, right? Well, back in the day, I feel like what kept me coming back is that, you know, something new would come out and it'd be completely different. And then another new thing would come out and that'd be completely different. I just want to have to try them all, you know. My Blockbuster bills were just like ridiculous back then. But like nowadays, it's all about the social aspect. It's all about the cons, meeting guys like you in person, like talking it out. You know, when I have time to do podcasts. When I have time to play socially. Like I never sit down anymore, I feel, to play a game by myself for like hours on end like I used to. You know, if there's a single player game that, you know, requires 50 hours of my time in order to beat it, a lot of times I just don't even finish it because it's not like it's just a thing that I don't play for that reason anymore. Like,
but I feel like for people like us who like are adults and, you know, have other things in our life that take priority because, you know, we're not necessarily working on video games.
Right.
So for us, you know, we get whatever enjoyment we can get out of a single player game, whether it's, you know, a 50-hour, 20-hour, whatever story. And that's content for us, right? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't take too much stock in, oh, you don't finish games. That's fine. I pay for the games. I get the enjoyment out of them and I'm cool with it.
Yeah. I think that, you know, some people there's a little bit of a stigma there if you don't finish a game. Like if you didn't experience the game fully, how can you talk about it on a podcast or whatnot, you know? But like that's just not why I game anymore. It's just, you know, with how social gaming has gotten and how prevalent multiplayer is now, and, you know, how you can bring a game anywhere and people can watch you on Twitch or watch you on the couch or watch you on Facebook or whatever. It's so different now that I feel like the social aspect is taken over, especially for me. That's kind of how I feel on it.
Yeah, I just interject. Like, I know for me, I look at gaming as the great equalizer, right? Because it's not about what you look like, you know, it's about how good you are at the game, especially when it comes to multiplayer and whatnot. And so it's like everybody's on an even playing field. It's that's what I love about it, you know. It's no preset notions. You have to just put up, you got to, you know, show and prove on the sticks, and that's pretty much it, you know. So
I hear you on that. Yep.
All right, so I know that I met Inferno at E3, and I know that he goes to many conventions and whatnot. So I wanted to know, like, what is your favorite gaming convention that you've been to?
So socially and for the allure of it, I would say that E3 is the best because you're leading up to that. That's like the pinnacle. That's, you know, when we were growing up and what we've known in gaming, our gaming past, that was like the event to go to, you know. So like, and you know, everybody universally wants to come to E3 from all parts of the world, no exception. Like that, if you're gonna make a trip, that's what people want to go to, right? You know, say what you want now about E3 dying and blah blah blah, but like it still has that prestige to it that, you know, if you could get there, you want to get there, right? But when it comes to like playing games and getting the swag and just seeing what's going to be out there and what's coming and getting my hands on it quickly and form my opinions and talking to the people that actually made it, it's without a doubt PAX. Like I go to PAX, you know, hands down. PAX East. Okay. Yeah, is the one I've gone to before. I haven't gone to Prime or West or whatever you call it.
Yeah, I've been to West.
But I want to, and you know, my plans were to do that, but you know, with the whole thing going on now, it's like Jesus. And,
but you were able to go to PAX right before they started shutting everything down.
Yeah. So they had PAX in February, which was super early. And if they had it, you know, when they were supposed to, which is usually like end of March, early April, it, you know, obviously wouldn't have even happened. So that was pretty cool. And everyone was like super respectful about, you know, sanitizing all this stuff. You didn't get any like weird looks or anything. It was actually required on the first day. It wasn't like 100% required. On the second day, it was 100% required. Like everybody had it, and you know, didn't get sick, thank God. But saw some really cool stuff there, and that's the thing about PAX. Like, you see so much from indie to big game and you're able to actually like realistically get your hands on it. Whereas, you know, at E3, I know you guys all know, like,
lines,
I mean, you can hit a line and be there for like 4 or 5, 6 hours. It's crazy.
That wasn't even gonna be me, man. I wasn't gonna stand in no line for no 6 hours at no E3. I got stuff to do.
I mean, I feel like by the end of it, you know, like the first E3, it was like, yeah, let's run around and try to get into like all these lines. But like the last E3 that we went to, it was just like when we walked the convention floor, it was mainly to like go talk to people. It wasn't really to like play games, you know, especially because if you were in FanFest, you know, we got to, you know, have hands on, you know, with the Microsoft, right? So like they had their own little spot where you can go get hands on many of the games that are in, you know, the convention floor besides, you know, obviously PlayStation games, but you know,
like,
so there's like really no reason to.
Yeah, like I met Inferno as well. I think I met him in it was an E3 line prior to meeting up with what was it, when the podcast you were on back in the day, I can't remember. But
we met with like the TXR guys.
So I mean, I do remember those lines and how insane they were. But it was interesting because that was before they expanded it and opened it up to the public. So it was a little bit easier to kind of meet people and talk, and you know, it was just not as many people crowding the floors and whatnot. It was definitely a very different experience. So
yeah, I feel, has anybody been to PAX other than me and Delilah here?
I never been to PAX.
I haven't gotten to PAX yet.
Yeah, I'll say that, you know, when you go to PAX, other than meeting and talking to like developers at indie booths, you're not there to meet people unless you know other people that are going there. Like you're not, you know, the situation that we all met, it just would not have happened there. Absolutely would not have happened. And you go in and, go ahead.
I was gonna say, because PAX is structured just differently. It's more panels, discussions, and You're just trying to go and listen in and ask questions of developers and kind of keep it pushing.
You're absorbing a lot of info in a short amount of time. You like make schedules and stuff, like the schedule comes out. At least this is how I do it. I know a lot of people do it. Some people just go and they walk around. And they're like, let's see what's around here. But if you want to see things, like you're probably going to want to hit that schedule. And the app that they release is really cool for that. It has the calendar and everything and kind of takes over your onboard calendar app on your phone or whatever and just reminds you when you have to go to things. And it's quite an event to game, but not to be social. So they both have their values, but I think if I were to choose one, just gaming how I game now, I'd probably say E3 just for the social aspect and see everyone. But that said, I couldn't see myself not going to PAX every year, so it's tough. It's tough to choose.
Yeah, I can't make a comparison between PAX East and West, but I just know West is where it started, so it's usually the big, very big and busy and things like that. I definitely recommend PAX for sure. But if I had to really choose the one I like the most, and it's mostly because of the ladies that's on this panel. Is the reason why I like E3 more than PAX is because of them. You know what I mean? I enjoy meeting up with them and having drinks, and it's a good time. And so
that's what really is. I haven't been to PAX, but I've been to TwitchCon, and TwitchCon is alright, but the people that you connect with online, you can be able to meet them. You can really learn people when you finally meet them off of the social media aspect. So I like E3 too. It ain't gonna be the same no more. So I'm glad that I was able to experience that purely. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you. Yeah, I agree.
See, that remains to be seen on whether it's going to be the same or not. I think this is because of this situation. Like, it's going to give a lot of companies and people a wake up call that this drip feed of information from the industry has been horrible, in my opinion. Yeah. This is just my opinion. And so I could easily see companies being like, yeah, okay, E3 is needed. And that's where the fans are. That's where we can get a lot of meetings in at one time. To me, just not having it this year validates its existence.
Yeah, because I think too, having E3 kind of gives everyone like a real hard deadline to have show-stopping, news. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
With the drip feed, it was just like, well, we don't have to, so we don't have to have it ready. Yeah,
and it gives these companies an out. If they don't have it ready by that time, it's like, we'll give you this little information that we do have and pretend that was the information. Right. That kind of thing wouldn't fly at E3 for sure. I agree with you on that.
All right. So now that we've had that, I wanted to know, this is our last interview question, by the way, is what are your top 5 franchises?
So when I saw you put this question in the DM, I was like, how am I going to narrow this down to 5, right? Because, if I went back to when I was younger, like I could make this list long, but I try to cut it off towards more recent stuff. Maybe like I was kind of thinking maybe I just narrow it down to like the 2000s. And so number 1 in my mind, always 100% without stop, is Halo. Like that was that was just like such a transitional thing for me to have that game at launch, and I can just remember the feel of the controller. Like, now that the update's out for the Master Chief Collection, or is coming out for the 120 frames per second mode, I've already beaten them all in Legendary multiple times, but I'm going back and doing it again with that Hyperkin Duke controller. Nice. Just for the feel of that controller, to just do it again and feel that. Wow. I'm so excited for that. That was just, and I played a lot of shooters up until then. Like I said, like I had an older brother. Like I was into Counter-Strike when I was like 7, 8 years old. Wow. Like I was into Team Fortress, you know what I mean? Like I was on a keyboard and mouse at a young age. And so when I play shooters, that is kind of like my preferred way to play, even though, not to brag, but I am still good at on a controller. But like with Halo, that was the first real shooter that I played with that controller that I said, this is the experience that you need to play it with. You know what I mean? So that that was just like a really, transitional time for me.
So wonder you that I know Lady asked you to play Call of Duty. I'm like, you talking about these multiplayer shooters? Like, what's up? What's up on the Call of Duty then?
He's like, I'm trash, but then he's like,
right.
No,
I played every.
Come on now. We played before. We played
once.
You're not trash. You're not trash. I mean,
we played once.
I think maybe like some of the issue is because you play with like what's his face, assassin, who is like a god. So
God level, yeah. No, he really is. Yeah,
So anybody who plays against him, you're like, all right, I'm trash.
No, like when we Warzone, man, I don't know if it's just my attention span or something, but like I love it, but I also hate it. Like if I were to choose between Warzone and Plunder, I would rather play Plunder.
Oh,
even though I know. Yeah, I know. I knew you were gonna say that, but it's
you're
true.
getting smacked for that.
But it's true though. Like I just want the freedom to be able to drop back in, and I want there to be an objective other than being like the Hunger Games. I don't know. It's just
I love crazy, that. That's the intensity of that. The Hunger Games is exactly the way you feel. Like you get to ask. So Delilah doesn't like playing these games, right?
Yeah, nah.
But I've gotten her to play Apex, and I've even gotten CHAREECE to play Apex with me. But Delilah will tell you, like, she does not like that circle behind her.
No, not at all.
She's like, it's moving. It's moving. So yeah.
I think I liked the circle aspect of Apex and Fortnite more than I do Warzone for some reason.
Really?
It's I don't know what it is, but it's just something that I'm just not like. Maybe it's like the time to kill in Modern Warfare being a little shorter than it is in Apex and Fortnite. Like I don't feel like I can get away as easy.
Right.
Which isn't a huge problem to me in like multiplayer for that because the maps are so much smaller. But in Warzone, like I feel like I just have to have my eyes darting everywhere. Like I could never play that on a 55-inch TV or bigger. I'd have to play that on the monitor because I don't know. It's just my eyes will be like darting everywhere just to look. Yeah.
I know, Boogie. Just to be clear, I thought that the ring was instant kill. So the whole time I'm like, if I'm in there, I've never played it. You gotta think about that.
That makes sense, right? Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, we gonna die with this.
Yeah, we don't die. Yeah, I was thinking like, why is she so like afraid of the ring? Like you'll be all right. Like it'll hit you, it'll just sting a little bit.
Right.
But anyways, all right. So we have Halo.
All right, so we got Halo. Next up, another shooter, Battlefield. Love Battlefield games.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the next one for sure.
Oh my god, yeah, love Battlefield games. Always been into them.
Have you seen the Battlefield one on the Series X? Or was it 5?
No, I haven't played either one yet. I've been trying to get Assassin into it, but he's oh no, Call of Duty, let's play COD. But yeah, I want to get back into Battlefield 5. That's one of my favorite shooters of all time for sure. Then another 3, so Borderlands, love Borderlands, like the MMO part. I mean, not MMO, I'm sorry, RPG aspects of that. Just revolutionary, the variety of guns, the variety of enemies, the humor. You can just go on and on. I love that game. Power Stone. I don't know if you guys ever played Power Stone before.
Yes.
Classic.
Yep.
Yeah, Power Stone is legit. That's definitely my favorite fighter of all time. I've played the Mortal Kombats. I love Mortal Kombat. I love what they've done recently. I know ladies big into Mortal Kombat, love those streams. But like if I'm gonna pick a shooter from any era to play, I mean a fighter from any era to play, it's Power Stone, 100%.
All right, last one.
And then last one, Forza.
Really? All right.
Okay.
I respect that. Which one you like better, Motorsport or Horizon?
Horizon for sure. Horizon for sure. I can get into Motorsport, but some of these more recent ones have gotten a little too in depth for me. I mean, I love cars, but not to the point of tuning the exact PSI of the tires. Yeah,
I don't need all that. It's a serious, like Motorsports is serious. If you're a serious racer, but if you want to race and have fun, Horizon all the way.
For sure. Yep. And I don't know if you guys remember, but 2-time champion.
Oh, we know.
E3.
Come on now.
All right. So
what happened?
2-time champion of what?
2-time champion at E3. Forza.
You guys don't remember? Boogie was definitely there. I don't know if Lady was there.
No.
I feel like Delilah was there too.
Yeah.
Remember they had the Forza tournaments at the E3 experience thing on the Monday night?
Yep.
I did
And
not.
who won that 2 times in a row? Your boy.
Okay. Y'all don't remember this?
Pics or it ain't real. Video or it ain't real. Okay. I know you got video.
I don't have my webcam attached, but I have my trophy
You know
on
he
my
got
desk
it. You
right
know he
now.
got some video
Right
somewhere.
here.
Yeah, right.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Show
Put
it
it
to
in
me.
chat for it. Should be all right.
I'll put it in chat right now.
Okay, because you like, who the 2-time champion? I need a picture. I'm like, I need a picture.
I thought y'all knew this already, though. I thought y'all.
I did
Yeah,
not.
I remember, but yeah.
What
What was
else?
I gonna say?
I don't
Really
think
quickly, I just wanted to shout out 5-Star Hustler. He was the very first person in here today. We got Ellie Zink, Mitchy Dizela, Arcade, Applecab 72. And I'm gonna butcher this. Tao. I'm just gonna call you Tao.
Tazuchi.
Tao Zochi. Yeah. Game Genie Prime. Golden, whose name is Peace for whatever reason. Fastback. Iron Mike. Thank y'all for being here early and listening to us on a Saturday.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we can continue. Yeah, thanks.
Arcade 42,
All right, so
47. Sorry, he came in last. So yeah, you know, sad.
No,
Fahrenheit
Arcade.
115.
You know, my bad.
The ghost. He a ghost now. What's up, Fahrenheit? I see you.
That's lawless.
I know. That's
Damn. How he even know? Like, I swear he's around now because Inferno's here.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
ouch.
Yep.
Shots fired.
Put in the jab.
Damn. That's my boy though.
All right, so yeah, who like kills it at Battlefield? I don't know how he sees the people he's able to see, but this man would have like 100 kills in a match on Battlefield.
Wow.
Yeah,
Respect.
well, I mean, we used to play, and I think Inferno, you played with us too a bunch too.
Yeah, a
but
few
when
times, yeah.
Battlefield
Yeah.
5 came out, like we were on that strong. Like
Yep.
we play that all the time. But yeah, all right. So on to our regular topics. The first one that I wanted to talk about is it looks like Fortnite is also getting on the subscribe bandwagon, and it will be having a subscription service starting in the UK, which will include some special skins. It'll be $10 a month. You'll always have the battle pass.
$11.99 American. Sorry.
It's not in America yet. It's only in the
Yeah,
UK
but that's
right
the
now.
price. That's the
So that's what it would be.
price conversion. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
$11.99 US. Yeah,
Yeah, but I feel like they would still make it $9.99.
hopefully.
Anyways, but so you get the skins, special skins for people who have this subscription service. You always have the battle pass, and you get 1,000 V-Bucks a month. And I was just wondering, how do you guys feel about this, and how do you think it's going to be successful enough to, be spread out to the rest of the world that's playing Fortnite?
Well, I'm just gonna plug in real quick because I just want to kind
go
of.
ahead.
So for me, I feel like this is probably being put in place to kind of curb the imminent decisions across regulation towards loot boxes, because we know that a bunch of countries overseas have been trying to crack down on that, and I think this is possibly a move towards, mediating a little bit of that. But I don't know.
So you think there's because you think that instead of them having to phase out loot boxes, this is to
exactly
capture that revenue back?
That's
Okay.
right. Yeah, that's what I think. That's just just guessing.
All right.
here.
What about you, Inferno?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be super successful. As much as I would not get it, I think it's gonna be super successful because they pulled their high end gamers, their biggest fans to see if they would do this, and they even thought about doing this in the past. I remember they were going to introduce like an annual pass kind of thing that you paid annually, which rightfully so they didn't do that, because I think a month-to-month payment is, especially something that's small like that or smallish like this, is more attractive than like an annual pass. It's like $60. People would be a rabble free to play, yada yada, even though people on free to plays drop money like crazy. But it's an exclusive thing. It comes with an exclusive skin that has its value. Is it worth $10 a month? To me, no, but to the hardcore Fortnite people that already spend a lot of V-Bucks, it's probably worth it, and it's probably a good thing. And it's a way to kind of spice up revenue. I don't know if V-Buck transactions have gone down, probably not, given the pandemic and everything, but it's a new way, and Fortnite has done a great job with this compared to other battle royales. Like, look at what happened with PUBG. Kind of stagnated. A lot of people still play it. Shout out to Midnighter, always streaming it. But even he can admit it's getting a little stagnated, and has gotten stagnated over the past year or so. But Fortnite, they've always thrown in these partnerships. Marvel, now apparently Star Wars is coming. They've always kind of innovated. Look at how the game released, and look at it now. So, I mean,
it's true.
It's a way to kind of spice it up a little bit. And, is it a little too expensive for me? Absolutely. But, for the hardcore, probably not.
Okay. For me, I think this is good if you like on a budget and you want to give your kid like some incentives to get some extra paper for their Fortnite addiction or Fortnite love. You know what I'm saying? And I think I think also this will curve out, because there have been a couple occasions that there's some kids that's really overspent on their parents' card off of some Fortnite merchandise. So this could be another way for the parents to like say, oh, you want some of this Fortnite stuff? Here, I'm gonna get you this subscription, $10 a month. But the problem is, what are they actually offering for those $10 a month? Is it going to be is it going to be some of the new skins or all the new skins?
No, it's going to be just certain skins for people who have this,
exclusives,
basically. So it's exclusive just for the people who have that.
Okay, well, that's appealing. I mean,
right, because what I was going to say is along the same lines as Lady. This is mainly geared for families and kids, because it's going to make it to where that kids are going to be seeing their friends and whatnot with these special skins only for if you have this pass, and they're going to want them. But at the same time, as a parent, I look at this and I'm thinking, cool, this is awesome. Now I don't have to worry about, buying the battle pass, buying these certain things. Like, I'm literally just going to spend $10 a month and that's it. Like, don't ask me for nothing extra on Fortnite.
It's that Game Pass effect, basically.
Right.
That Game Pass effect?
Yeah. I mean, like, what's right now? I'm like, with my kid, I'm like, look, we have Game Pass. If there's anything on there you want to play, we can get it. Other than that, don't talk to me.
Yeah, you gotta set boundaries. What about you, CHAREECE?
I went Boogie. I for families, I don't think my daughter still plays Fortnite anymore, but if she did, I would get it for her because it would cut down on unnecessary spending. Like, didn't I just buy you some V-Bucks? Didn't I just give you a card for this like a week ago? It'll cut down on some of that. And then she could grind the rest of it out. Since to give you, like you said, 1,000 V-Bucks with it each subscription.
Right. Each month.
So you better learn how to save up and get the skins you want, or you just SOL. So
like, I'm gonna lump that into financial responsibility as a parent and give myself
there you go. There you go. That skin is $1,200. I don't have no idea how much skins are on Fortnite. Hey, that means you need to wait till next month to buy it. You gotta learn. That's just
well, yeah, and kind of like what CHAREECE is saying, right? You have to ration or whatever, but also like that 1,000 V-Bucks is on top of everything you normally earn in the battle pass, which is a decent amount. So instead of using, a lot of people will like what they say, use the battle pass to buy the next battle pass, right? They'll save up all their V-Bucks to buy the next one. Well, with this, you don't have to. You can use those battle pass V-Bucks along with your stipend that you get every month, and you can get some of those higher end skins without, begging your mom or your dad for their credit card. You know what I mean? So I'm with you guys.
At 30,
I think yeah, I'm with you guys.
See?
Yeah.
Try to save a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I still beg my dad. I have my dad up for his American Express all the time. Come on, man.
Yeah, I think you're gonna get a select few people still complain the fact that it's going from free to play to you're gonna have maybe a few.
Well,
but I think
I don't think that they're gonna enforce that. Do you? You think they're going to make this model mandatory? Like, I think it's just going to be an option out there, right?
If it's option, then yeah, everybody wins, right? It's, because you can kind of choose which way you want to go. But yeah, I was under the initial impression that they're going to take away the free to play aspect of it. But since you're saying that it's going to be an option, then that's fantastic.
All right. Well, let's move along to the next topic then. It looks like Watchdogs is having a ton of issues, so much so that they have decided to put off the multiplayer so that they can fix all the bugs that's happening now. And I don't know if you guys have heard, but it sounds like they're having issues on both consoles, PS5 and Xbox Series X. So I just kind of wanted to talk to you guys about, like, what do you think is going on here? Because I mean, Valhalla has had its issues, and we know Ubisoft, like, is notorious for having issues. But typically, the shutting down of consoles, like all that, like, I mean, it's really having issues. So I just kind of wanted to get your opinion on what do you think is going on? Do you think it's just that they assigned the wrong team to do this, or maybe they need to pull in some higher ranked help? What do you think is going on? And I'll start with Inferno since he's the guest.
Okay, I think that the game was already delayed once, fairly significantly, and I think that was probably, what we've become accustomed to as like a planned delay, right? I don't think it was ever intended to come out in March, just because the new consoles were coming on the horizon, and Ubisoft wanted to show this off as, with the ray tracing and everything. They've done a good job kind of capturing the public attention using that as kind of like the go all and be all. But before all that, what was one of the big sticking points of buying this game? It was the co-op missions. It was the co-op, kind of like almost like a GTA kind of feeling, a little bit with the online multiplayer, and kind of that's gotten a little pushed back, I think, to the side because of all the ray tracing and because of the 4K and because of the new generation of consoles. And, people are kind of giving it a pass because the game got dropped in price so much right away for Black Friday. Now, I know not everyone bought it on Black Friday. A lot of people like you, Boogie, bought it ahead of time and was streaming it. And, we're really looking forward to it. But like a lot of people I'm seeing out there saying, well, what do you want? Like they dropped it already to $30 and it's a brand new.
So that is a significant drop though.
It is, yeah. And I grabbed it for $30 from Best Buy. When as soon as I saw that was going to be a deal, I said, I can wait a couple weeks to buy it. But that's what people are doing. They're excusing the multiplayer thing. But if this had come out in March, that wouldn't be an excuse. They couldn't have that excuse necessarily. And kind of to answer more of your question, Boogie, I think the problem is, a little bit of COVID. I know you guys and, a few episodes back now at this point talked about whether or not COVID can be used as a development excuse or a development, hindrance. And you guys had some really awesome points, but I think it still affects people in different ways. And I think that they were already planning on releasing this with kind of like a hurried up schedule at the end. But with coronavirus, like they couldn't necessarily use that hurry up schedule anymore. Like everybody's hurry up schedules that they usually use at the end, crunch, whatever you want to call it, kind of screwed up. And I think that kind of caught up to them. But I think it's a big miss. And I think, for me, I was excited about playing that mode. That was probably one of my most anticipated things about the game and the spider sections. But, I think it's rightfully getting a lot of flack now, and we'll see how they respond.
Okay, I'm not really big on Watchdogs. I just want to ask. So, did the other releases or other versions of the game, like 1 and 2, did they have multiplayer components?
No.
Part 2,
not
the part 2 did.
Okay.
Part 2 did.
Yeah. Part 2 had more. Part 1 had multiplayer, but it was like half baked, like racing or like some. Yeah. It was a mode that ran.
You had
to
like go there and then like invite people and stuff, and then
yeah.
It's like an afterthought, basically.
Right.
Okay.
What were you gonna say?
And this was supposed to be more like real co-op.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Sharice.
Yeah.
I was trying to. I don't think even in Watch Dogs 2, the co-op in that was kind of janky.
Yep, definitely.
It was not well thought out. Like you brought people into your world to do missions together, but it was not. You can do story missions together to a certain extent. You could do like random objectives or heist missions or hacks, but you couldn't really do story missions. I didn't really know how it was going to play out in Legion, and because it was so janky in the second one, I really wasn't concerned about the multiplayer in this one. I'm more concerned about the other aspects that is going on with Watchdogs. But I don't know. I guess people were really excited about multiplayer, so I guess I'm sorry for them.
All right.
Man, I'm glad it's on sale. I'm glad I should have copped it on sale. I will.
You know, the sale is probably going through Monday, the $30.
Man, I should have bought it. I should have bought it when I bought all my other stuff. Now I don't.
In stock right now at Best Buy, $29.99.
Right. She just complaining to complain is what it sounds like.
Well, leave me alone. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. Because
I'm gonna wait.
You're going to say what you say, but then you're like, all right, well, then I'm still not getting it. So
I'm going to get it in the future.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get it in the future.
You're going to wait till it's on Game Pass or something.
Right. That's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
When it's on Game Pass. And then she's going to be like, y'all want to come play with me 12 months later?
Nah, I'm gonna be like, I'm about to beat this game, cuz 12 months later.
Right.
I don't know. I just feel like they should have put I don't know. They should have put enough effort on Watchdogs Legion as they did with Valhalla. As far as
well, we know it's different teams, right? So like within Ubisoft, there's like several different teams that are working on games and stuff like that. But that's why I was asking, you feel like, do you think they should have brought some resources over from some other folks, or
they should have delayed the game? They should have had delayed the game a little bit.
They already did that once.
Oh well, people been delaying games all year. What's another month? What's another?
Yeah, but they wanted to capture that new. They wanted to capture that new lady. Come on, now they know that that was a release. Yeah, for the console release, that was like one of the big third-party things. Like AC, Assassin's Creed, and Watch Dogs are like top sellers. Even notwithstanding the price drop, like those are big third-party games. Like where are the other big third parties? Like even the sports games, like NBA 2K with the next gen update, like that was out. But Madden, FIFA, NHL, those next gen upgrades aren't out. So like that's what's sold. That's the thing.
So they really not release them games with save glitches and stuff like that. And for me, man, it's hard.
In the past.
Yeah. All right. You know what? You're absolutely right. I ain't even gonna hold you for that.
I'm with you though. By the way, I'm with you. I don't think it should have released in the state. I think it's pretty shitty that you can't.
But see,
put out a game that. Good.
Okay, so I started playing Watch Dogs on the original, on the X. And then when I got my Series X, I switched it over. I didn't have any problems whatsoever playing it on, I take that back. I didn't have any major problems. Yes, it did shut down my Xbox twice. On the Series X, I didn't have any issues until people started saying that they was losing progress. So that's when I stopped playing it because I was far enough in the game that I didn't want to have to restart stuff over like I had just do with Valhalla. So I haven't played it, even though they just had to update it. I was going to wait till that update that was coming in December to fix the save issue. But is the reason they're having so many difficulties with this game is because technically this is not the next gen version of this game that we are playing on Xbox. Mm-hmm. This is still the X version of this game, not the Series X version. It's just being scaled up to compensate before that. I guess that's the word I'm trying to say. Right. So maybe that's why it's causing these issues right here that it's having graphically. Mm-hmm. Maybe when we actually do get the graphical update that's supposed to be coming, which I'm assuming is probably pushed back now, we might actually fix some of these issues that we're having. Does that make sense?
Look at Sharice coming in with the logic.
Right.
I know it happens every once in a while, but I want to clarify. I am medicated right now, so it won't last long.
Right. I mean, even with Valhalla, like what we're playing is just a scaled up version. It's not the version for the Series X.
And it's tough to. Right? It's.
Yeah.
They released the patch.
They released the patch for both games.
Oh, they even for Watchdogs, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, it came through last night. That's one of the reasons why I haven't, because I was going to play it because I knew we was going to talk about it on the show today, and I was going to play it last night, but oh my God, it took forever to download.
To be honest, I haven't started it up again since I started seeing a bunch of people like losing progress and like having it shut down their Xbox, because I'm like, look, stock is low. I'm not trying to be looking for another Xbox right now.
Trying to break her system.
Right. So I'm just like, I'll play that later after they fix the bugs.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. How big is the update, CHAREECE? Do you know how big?
Oh my God, I can't remember. I know it was a couple of gigs. And I decided to play Valhalla instead. I just know it took them. I didn't feel like waiting.
I'll look it up real quick
again. But it came through.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Cool. So moving on, kind of like a segue, because some of the issues that Ubisoft is seeing were attributing to this COVID and work from home and stuff like that, but we were also seeing a lot of places like Square Enix and other companies telling their people, hey, just work from home forever. I know that Netflix has done that, and like I said, Square Enix and whatnot, and I'm sure that we're going to see other companies. And so I wanted to get you guys' feel or take on how you think new permanent work from home is going to affect the gaming industry. Because if we're saying, COVID is creating these delays, if we're going to go ahead and let everyone work from home, how is that going to work? And I guess I'll go with Inferno first.
Oh, okay. I was like waiting to see what you want to do. Okay. Yeah, I think that initially it's going to be bad.
Yeah.
Okay. So think about, in our lives, a lot of people, no matter what kind of job they have, probably has transitioned to work from home. I don't want to say everyone, but a lot of people, and some people have dealt with that adjustment pretty well. I know you guys kind of touched about this a few weeks ago. And some people just can't do it. Like they can't concentrate, what have you. Right. But I think people are going to have to learn really quick. And I think, if there's an industry that where people can kind of learn, I think it is, an industry that relies heavily on coding, that relies heavily on, being in front of your computer and getting, tasks done in an orderly fashion. I can't remember exactly what it is that they like it's like Scrum or something like that. I don't work in the industry. Agile. I don't know, but Agile. Yeah. So, like people are kind of used to this, whether they work that kind of environment, whether they work in person or not. And there's a lot of already hybrid workplaces in the field as it is. So I think the transition will be good overall and will work. And I know, access to certain kits and hardware is going to be a little bit of an issue at the beginning, but they'll feel it out. And I think that overall it's going to be the same, if not better. I think the morale of people is going to be better. And I think, a happy person's a better worker in any situation that I've ever been a part of. So I think overall it'll probably work out, but first few months, first 3-4 months, probably going to be a little bit of trouble, even, for people that have tried doing it during the pandemic, so we'll see.
All right. What about you? Go ahead.
Lady. Oh, me? I'm gonna be honest, yo. I know how I live my life, yo. I can't work from home. I can't do it. I'll be so distracted doing other stuff at my house than actually doing work. I prefer, going to the location and working whatever job I got. It gets me in that sense of mood, like, okay, lady, you can't BS. You can't be BSing. You can't be distracted and doing some other stuff, because you got to focus on what you're really doing. I don't want to get nobody sick. I don't want nobody making messed up drinks. I don't want to mess up inventory or anything like that. So, but if you have an option to work at home, from these companies got to equip you to be the best you can be at home.
Yep.
That's true.
Yeah, because I've seen all kind of like craziness. Like my sister, who's working from home, like they didn't provide her with a computer or anything. They're expecting her to use her own computer and figure it out. But then, like for me, Like I have a stipend to get things to, you know, make my work at home easier. But even still, you know, like you guys are saying, there's some people who are just not geared for working at home. Like they need the work office environment to essentially make sure they work, you know?
You gotta have more discipline working at home than you do working at a job
so
site.
True. Yeah, absolutely.
Because ain't no manager there, ain't no coworkers you can talk to and kick it with, you know, and you have to determine all those things. You have to treat it like it's a job, and some people do it and some people don't. And with the video game industry, I know they're disciplined enough to get their job done. My thing is, do they have adequate equipment to do the job that they need to do?
I mean, I think they will. I think the biggest thing is going to be the first part, because I think that just because someone works in the gaming industry doesn't mean that they're necessarily a self-starter, right? Self-starter is something that not everyone has. And if you're not a self-starter, then you're going to have issues, I think, working from home. But on the flip side, maybe some of those people will be let go and it'll open up more opportunities for people in the game industry.
It's true. Like I know for me, I look at it a little bit different because you know in Microsoft we transitioned to working from home for like right when it hit, and we've all been working from home. And you're right. Naturally, some people you could tell, some people just struggle with it. I struggled with it earlier on, but luckily we got a lot of support from the company. But there are already some companies that exist out now that are been remote prior to even COVID. Like for instance, Moon Studios, the team that did Ori and the Blind Forest, that whole franchise, they're a remote team. Like they 100%, the entire studio already does this. So it's not out the realm of possibility. I just think it's going to take an adjustment, and accountability is going to be huge, right? With stuff like this, because any industry that has deadline focus, I think it's going to be more successful than those that have, like you said, have to self-start. For us, like we're like my team specifically, we live and die by deadlines, right? We have like things we have to have checked in. Have to get it's kind of like a checks and balances in place. We get requests, and those requests got to be submitted. So it's I think that some industries would do better than others for sure. But I mean, as far as gaming, that it depends on. I think it's going to be like hard for the studio culture to stay intact, because usually that's by the people, by personalities and being able to kind of engage and collaborate and things like that. And that can really your culture can take a hit when you're working remotely, because even now it's hard to socialize with the team at times. We have to set certain schedules in order to be like, oh, let's collaborate, or let's jump into this one file and work on it, kind of deal. Like you have to, it takes a lot of communication. And if you're not good at that, if you're not good at, like Boogie was saying, if you're not a self-starter and don't know how to get yourself like in the working mood, it's going to be tough. It's definitely going to be tough. So we'll see though.
Yeah, I think for me, I kind of have like a skewed view, because I am a self-starter and I'm a scrum master. So I kind of like already do that with my team. Like I've already set up social things for our team to also have, social times, where we're able to like talk to each other and communicate without it being just about work. And you have to do that, because this can be daunting, being at home and whatnot.
And imagine people who have had to go through this, and they don't have any they don't have a spouse, and they're just by themselves, and they're relocating from out of a different state or from a different different country, and it's just them. Like they're stuck with no one. Like it can be, I don't know, it's hopefully they get easier once everything gets kind of put in place, and they're talking about vaccines and whatnot. Hopefully that will iron itself out. But I do think the remote culture of working is probably here to stay. Like I remember back when I was in Georgia, I would get so many like emails. I would request to work from home, and they're like, no, you can't, and stuff like that. So now it's like you can't. It's no way to argue that you can't, because the entire country has been doing it for months. So it kind of kills that whole argument going forward for a lot of companies.
Yeah, it could be mutually beneficial, actually, not just mentally or, for your psyche, but financially too, right? Yeah. I mean, a lot of these workplaces, especially here in Boston, like, these big workplaces downtown are not cheap to rent. So if you can eliminate some of that, maybe those resources get piped into, better workstations, or, like Boogie was kind of saying with the stipend to make work from home easier. Maybe it does a lot for them to get more dev stations to, for people to take home and use it properly instead of, rent out or whatever, has come about in the industry right now. If they don't have enough, like, how do you allot that to certain people over others? Maybe they use that money in other ways. So it could be really beneficial. And what you guys have said is 100% true about motivation. I think these people better get used to doing the agile scrum stuff and reporting in and doing their stand-ups and all this crazy stuff, because that's going to be the way they're going to be working for the future. And if they don't like that, then, like Boogie kind of alluded to, maybe new blood comes in.
And then another thing too, I saw was a benefit of it was alleviating traffic, because a lot of these places, like big cities, have these crazy commutes. And so
400,000 people coming to LA every day to work.
Damn.
Right.
Wow.
And that's just LA. Imagine in New York, how many people are coming into New York City and Manhattan every day to work.
Yeah.
Which is good for the environment, right? Like, this can probably help shape, better environmental policies for us, right?
Yeah, that's possible too.
All right. Well,
I do if we do start working from home, people with disabilities have no problem doing this.
Yes.
Like, like this is, they've been doing this, like, the whole reason they can't get regular jobs. Oh, we can't accommodate your whatever that you have. But now, since everybody's working from home, you literally have no excuse not to hire somebody with disability. So maybe we can see more, hey, it's open up it's maybe some people might not like it, but it's going to open up a lot of doors for other people also. So there's that.
Yeah, I agree. Anybody else want to put in some before we move on?
Yeah, just really quick. Like, I was also thinking that maybe this work from home thing will be another thing to get indies onto a level playing field with AAAs.
Right.
That's when, like I was saying earlier with the PAX convention versus E3, you talk to a lot of indie devs and a lot of 1-man, 2-man, 5-man, 10-man teams, busting it to get it out there. And a lot of them complain about, or a lot of them say, oh, I'm putting this on Xbox, ID at Xbox because, Chris Chawla got me the hookup with dev units, or, stuff like that. You know what I mean? And I think that if the whole industry kind of flips to this model as, a viable equal alternate, that maybe, the indie scene will have easier access to this kind of thing just by default,
Right.
Yeah, it also opens up the pool to be able to hire top talent, because some people might be like, they may choose a certain company because it is remote. Like, I can still stay where I am. I have to relocate anywhere just to get the best work at one of the best companies in the world or something like that. It's just not a lot of people are willing to just uproot their lives and just to work somewhere, right? So this definitely opens it up.
Totally agree. And people who have moved are now, I see, moving back right to their hometowns and stuff like that, because they're like, because in these tech areas, we've seen tons of gentrification and tons of skyrocketing housing prices, because now these big players are only in this one space, and if you want to work there, you have to live there. So maybe we'll start to see a little reprieve in gentrification in areas like San Francisco, Seattle, LA, stuff like that, which is great. I'm happy, because it also allows for companies to realize that they don't have to have everyone under their thumb to get the same productivity.
Right.
Yeah.
It requires them to trust their employees again. That's another thing.
Yep.
So, because some of them, man, I'm telling you, that whole, I remember when I was in Georgia, and it's like, yeah, you can't work from home. Like, what?
Yeah.
It was like, Why?
So in that situation, Delilah, were you looking to do it on a like semi-permanent to permanent basis, or were you looking to just do it like for a week or something because of some situation you had?
For like a couple days, for like 2 days. It's like, no, they had some partner coming in and they wanted everybody. They wanted pretty much all hands on deck. And so yeah, just pretty much like, no, you can't.
Wow.
Like, wow. Yeah, that was my reaction.
Right.
But I'm somewhere else now, so that tells you how that went.
There you go. Yep, yep.
So like this, we're coming to the end of the show, and everybody that has been here before knows, but please, if you have any questions, we won't do a lot of them today because we're already running over, but we will do a few questions, but just make sure you type question in big bold and then your question. All right. So this story is total rumor mill and tons of allegedly around there. But if you guys have heard, over the last couple of days, there's been this rumor that now that the last update has gone out for Valhalla for PS5 and there was a big downgrade, that Phil Spencer must have called Ubisoft and told them to downgrade the PS5 version because the Xbox Series X version was not performing the way he wanted it to. Now, before you laugh, let's go ahead and seriously talk about it. You know, like, would that actually happen? Could that even be a possibility? And then we can tell our jokes. So
let's just call this section of the podcast fact or fanboy logic. Like,
right, right. Is it fact or fanboy? But go ahead, Inferno. I'm gonna let you go first. Every time you're first. So
okay, all right. I've kind of caught on to that. But I will play the fanboy devil's advocate, and I will ask, because I'm not 100% certain. Wasn't Valhalla a like quote unquote pseudo Xbox marketing rights title?
They did have marketing rights. Yes.
Okay.
They do have marketing rights. Yeah.
So you'd expect that if there was pre-existing communication between the two to ensure that the marketing would be subsidized and specified for the Xbox system, that it would be the top performer, no holds barred, no excuses on the development units, no excuses on, you know, Microsoft holding back sending ones out because of putting in the latest hardware, nothing of that nature, that there would be some sort of surety that it would be the top performer. Would you agree?
Objection.
Not necessarily for marketing rights.
Okay. But I'm okay. So I'm not. Let me just preface by saying I do not agree with this, but I'm playing devil's advocate for people that aren't necessarily 100% in the know in the industry, that would just expect a result and they didn't get it. Right. And if the head of that other entity were to come in and be upset because they paid the money to have this marketed and blah 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 and had the agreement, that, you know, they would want to do something about it. So
the reason why I would say no is because for games like Call of Duty and let's say Destiny, they had marketing rights with PlayStation 4, but the game didn't look better on the PlayStation 4. And
did it not?
No.
Destiny didn't play at a higher resolution on PlayStation.
No,
not before this gen or anything. No, not on PlayStation 4 or really? Xbox One. No.
Oh,
it's always played better on the Xbox One X.
We're talking about Destiny 1 or 2?
Destiny 2.
Okay. Go ahead, keep going.
You said 1X. You said 1X. Just to be clear, you said 1X.
Yeah.
1X. 1X.
Yes.
I got you. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Right.
Yep. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I don't think that marketing rights equate to performance guarantees. Now, if you're talking about special content and stuff like that, then, you know, that's a different story.
Mm-hmm. No, I think just from a bystander who doesn't necessarily know how everything works, they will see that, you know, Microsoft pushed the envelope when it came to showing Assassin's Creed. It was at like essentially every show that they did, they said something about it, whether it be gameplay, whether it be commentary, whatever. And then the thing comes out, and for whatever reason, it doesn't play as well, which I think we all kind of know what the reason is. And they, they're just looking at it from a bystander point of view, and they're saying, well, how would Phil Spencer, who personally shelled out all this money, which he didn't, to get this, marketing rights, how would he be okay with this happening? He had to make some sort of move,
Right.
I don't believe, I'm saying it again, I do not believe that, but that's just the devil's advocate argument.
No, yeah, I agree. I mean, I think that, for someone who knows nothing and just goes off of hearsay, this definitely looks like Phil Spencer could have called Ubisoft. But anyone who knows anything about business would know that just because he called them or whatever does not mean that they're going to now downgrade another version specifically for him. And I say this because we've seen what happened with PUBG, for instance. They got their money from Microsoft, right? And PUBG on Xbox was the worst version, and it's still the worst version.
The worst.
So why do they now have to do anything for Microsoft? I think this is solely on Ubisoft, and Ubisoft, because obviously they're having issues, is staying quiet and letting this just, become its own monster. But I think that all this is the blame on Ubisoft. I think that Ubisoft said, we're going to give you X, Y, and Z, and delivered X and not Y and Z. And then I think that they're having issues on the other consoles as well. The same, like they're having issues on Xbox Series X. And instead of being forthcoming, they just downgraded the version for performance issues that they're having instead of explaining why. Now, I also wonder, why are they not able to explain why they're having the issues on the PS5 that they're having? That's what my mind goes to, is why are they not saying this is what's wrong with the PS5?
Yeah, Arcade said in the chat, just to really shout out the chat.
Yeah,
hopefully I can do that. Sorry.
That's fine.
He says he's in the Madden community. Every update they do, they mess the game up. They have to go back and fix it. I mean, that could be a possibility that people aren't really thinking about, is that,
right,
maybe you fix one thing, it screws something up, but they, they just push an update just to push for update's sake, so maybe that's the issue too.
Yeah, it could be a situation to where they patch it, fixing the biggest bugs, while allowing some other smaller bugs to kind of linger in the back, because you try to handle what's important, really within those situations. Yeah, right. To me this is fanboy logic. Moving right along.
Fanboy logic. Skip. I swear. Yo,
go ahead.
Okay, that's it. Never mind.
I was gonna say we got CHAREECE gotta get her tidbits too on this.
Yeah.
I don't know. These people are weird. Like, again, it's not even the Series X version of the game. People like this. Nobody actually read the details. Or is that just me?
I don't read.
You would think in my real life I realized this, but apparently not. I don't know. It was funny. The rumor is funny. I laughed. And then I sent it to the ladies and we laughed again. But then it got kind of weird with it. Like, people were really pulling this. Like, this man does not have time to just call up Ubisoft again. How many studios does Ubisoft have? Like, does he really have the time and effort to, like, hey, tell them to damage his game on this other system? Like, this is the holidays. People got time. I got other shit to do.
Right. How does that even align with, like, how Phil has behaved?
Like, that's not him the entire time. Like, y'all just want to hate on this man just to be hating on this system, on this console. Y'all play your games to be happy. Like,
right.
I don't understand it. And, like, can I just say first, Valhalla is a beautiful game.
Oh yeah, gorgeous.
And
it really is, yeah.
And with the last update, it looks better.
It does. It looks gorgeous. But people, if y'all are so concerned about this game, why not y'all look at this damn Miles Morales, who is like missing his head in like every clip that I see on Twitter? Like, that's the game y'all should be concerned about. Yeah. Like, fix y'all DLC.
I ain't gonna hold you, but Miles had to make me have to backtrack a couple of times on some shit.
Yeah, my favorite one was when he became a coat hanger.
Really?
No, mine was when he just turned into goo. Like he was walking and all of a sudden he just fell out on the sidewalk and he turned into goo.
water. I saw that.
What is this?
That's
I'm
wild.
like this is the game y'all should be concerned about, not Valhalla. Like this is actually a first party studio who was supposedly made this game especially for this system. That's the one you should be concerned about, not this one that is a multi-plat who is having issues across the board. Like fix your own shit before you worry about somebody else's shit. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Again, I'm medicated.
All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and get to our fireside chat. We had some tidbits, and I'm just going to say them really quickly. Cuphead expansion was delayed. Immortal Phoenix Rising has a new trailer out. Check it out. It looks awesome. Make sure you guys get in on your Black Friday deals because there's a lot of them out there. And now to our little fireside chat. So typically, when we meet up at these conventions, we go out for dinner, we have drinks, and we talk about the industry and where it's headed. So I just kind of wanted to get like a quick synopsis of how you think the game industry is headed as far as, we have subscription services now with COVID, like Delilah said, gaming has really become the great equalizer. And I think a lot of people are seeing that we have gamers in all shapes, forms, sizes, creeds, all that. People are playing on mobile, people are playing on VR, people are playing on console, people are playing on PC. People are playing on their tablets through stream. Where do you see the gaming industry headed in the next, 5 to 10 years? So, Inferno, you are up first.
So, interestingly, I know we didn't have time to talk about it today, but there was an interesting Phil Spencer interview.
Yes. Well, that's what this came from.
Okay.
This.
Oh, okay. And it was interesting to see that he was kind of still fully on board with releasing more powerful hardware than what xCloud kind of offers, right? That he still thinks that there's space for both, like equal space, if not, a little bit more for hardware still, to the point where people are still going to want, even if xCloud is available on your Black Friday $150 4K TV and you can get good fidelity on that, people will still shell out money for a high-end piece of hardware that's in their room that could potentially, offset some of the, gaming tasks, and work in conjunction with cloud. And I think that's really interesting because if you'd asked me about this a year ago, I would say cloud gaming is absolutely the future. No question that, in between 5 and 10 years, no one will have a console in their living room. And now after that interview and after seeing some of the other stuff that's been going on with the successes or lack thereof of like Stadia not doing too well, I think that it is trash. It is hot trash. I mean, they were giving that thing away. If you were a YouTube premium member or whatever, they gave that to you. So, it's, and then, Amazon's trying to jump into the mix, everyone's trying to hop in that cloud bandwagon. And here's Phil Spencer, who arguably has the one that has the most steam behind it, and he's saying, not so fast on the fully cloud future, which I think is really interesting. And I agree. And, that also the news with Comcast, enacting
data caps and whatnot. Yep.
Data caps in more areas of the country, like that's really gonna turn people off to cloud gaming. So it's really interesting that cloud gaming is really gaining a ton of steam. And then, I'm not gonna blame it on COVID, but like this year has just been crazy in all sorts of regards and has totally kind of like flipped my outlook on whether or not fully cloud future is going to be absolutely viable anytime soon. And I don't think it is anymore.
Yeah, because I think one of the biggest things for cloud is not just data caps and whatnot, but you have 5G, right? Like one of the biggest things for cloud gaming to work as well as they want it to work is the need for strong Wi-Fi across the country. And even in remote areas, because in remote areas, people can just plug in their console, right, and go. So if you don't have that, then you're going to have 5G internet. And maybe that signals that they aren't going to have that, right?
Yep.
But go ahead. Let's get your thoughts, Delilah. I mean, everybody can just jump in. This is
I mean, wow, Inferno said quite a bit and touched on kind of like some of the same things that I was thinking. No, it's fine. Yeah, I mean, I think console is still the best place to play, and that's part of the reason why. If that interview was kind of along those lines, it starts with the hardware. I mean, that determines a lot even when it comes to xCloud. But yeah, I think as far as when I look at it from 5 years from now, I think we would see, as far as games would improve by not so much graphic fidelity, but more so AI, machine learning, things like that. Probably bigger worlds and more detail, and more engaging stories, things like that. I feel like that the games would just continue to get better and better. And I think the release cycle of games are going to change too, because people are now able to make these games, similar to like Sea of Thieves. They're able to put something out and just update it and over time improve the game, kind of like with No Man's Sky. So I could easily see that being just the model now for some games. Like, okay, we're gonna put the game out, even if it's a single player experience. If you think about Valhalla and how that game is a single player experience, but they can add certain, new bosses, new areas, they can open up new map sections and things like that. And I think that's just essentially where the entire industry is going to head eventually when it comes to that type of game. So.
All right, CHAREECE, lady, what do you guys think?
Delay-a-thon to 2025. That's what it is for me.
What?
With gaming for the next 5 years, I'll be honest with you, I don't know, but I will be here, hopefully with a 4K TV and a better PC and better games. But I can't really, knowing how everything's going with the Rona, games will have delays next year, and we gonna get the trailers, we gonna get the sneak peeks. We're gonna continue to get the drip action until we can be able to go back outside. And when we can be able to go back outside, it's gonna be like a big old celebration, and it's gonna be like
Tatooine and whatnot. Everybody's
out. Everybody's out. But I'm in it. I'm in it for the long haul. So
sorry, CHAREECE, we can.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
You good?
I'm just thinking. I don't know. I just want more engaging stories. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I'm an RPG fan in the long run, and
I feel like more games are coming, though, don't you think? Like more RPGs.
Yes, I do.
Coming.
I do. Sure. I just want them now. I don't have patience, and so I just want them now. And like Lady said, it's gonna be a lot of delays, especially with people getting used to working from home and getting everything set up like it needs to be. And if you want more lifelike, that means you have to schedule, make sure everybody's safe to do it, to do the mocap, to do the voice acting, or find more imaginative ways to actually do all this stuff. So the more so if you want to all this lifelike and like it is, you're going to have to take the time to actually work through it. So we need to get this stuff set up so that way we won't have as many delays. But I do see delays, not as much as Lady sees, but just a few.
Yeah. One thing I want to add too, if you think about the release trajectory, you said 2025, right? I mean, man, with all these things that are currently in development that we know about, those games should be out by then, right? Same thing with like God of War, Ragnarok, and all these things that we do know about. I think it's gonna be fascinating to watch, because we don't know what's after that. In 2025, that's mid-generation for what what has just been released with Series X and PlayStation 5. So that's mid-gen for them. So I mean, it's just gonna be cool. I mean, I think we could see more on the VR front. Yeah.
I'd be very interested to see if you know, if I'm wrong about cloud gaming and that is kind of taking a huge market share within the next 5 years, I'm kind of interested to see what that does to the price of games in general. Because if you had asked me that pricing of games was going to be $70, if you told me that for this gen, I would not have believed you. And it looks like that's becoming more popular, and I don't really like it. I understand it a little bit, but if it's not happening to everyone across the board, then should it really happen in general? Question mark. But I'm really interested to see whether, you know, when more people go to digital, you know, digital sales are never as good as, at least, you know, within the first year of a game's life cycle, they're never as good, those deals, as the physical disc versions. You know, deals, Black Friday, you always see amazing deals, right? So I'm interested to see, you know, pricing, what kind of deals you get, what kind of bundles you get, like whether cloud gaming is going to force the hand of people to really, for publishers to really reconsider how games are priced and bundled, and if we get kind of another revolution of like DLC, you know, like standalone DLC is kind of taking a little bit of a backseat in terms of, you know, charging separately for it a ridiculous amount, right? We've seen a lot of games just move to a free DLC model. I wonder if we're going to get the same kind of revolution, but based on, you know, cloud gaming driving the train, like subscription models driving the train on making these publishers charge less for the upfront cost, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's
I agree, and it's I think I know it's weird that, you know, recently we just had a new installation of Ready Player 2 for the Ready Player 1 saga, and it just makes me always think, you know, how close are we to this, right? And like we said, you know, I think we're going to see more innovation within cloud gaming. I mean, not cloud gaming, but VR and whatnot, and maybe it's adoption to some cloud performance, you know, for its hardware, and the future is bright for gaming for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All right, well, I think that's the end of all of our topics and tidbits and our lovely chat with Mr. Inferno. We have greatly appreciated you being here, and I love our discussions. This is basically what happens on most of our game nights, guys, so make sure you come to those. But
next week is Among Us. Next week is Among Us.
Okay.
Among Us. Okay, Delilah.
I'm gonna be there. Don't worry.
Right.
Write it down.
Yeah.
Write it
She hates
down.
that game.
Anyway.
But
yes, I do.
yeah, let's get who's gonna get the questions together? Let's just get a couple, like 3 or 4. Somebody want to pick out some, either lady Sharice.
I got it.
All right.
Question, Rain G4. Will this pandemic cause more delays throughout the generation until things get better?
We've already talked about that, so let's pick one that we haven't.
Okay. Question, Abacab72. How you doing? Has anybody seen the podcast on Joe Budden's network called See the Thing Is? They're talking mostly dissing men playing video games, saying they are bad.
Oh, we did see that.
They are bad in bed and in general. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I heard. Yeah, I seen that. Nobody paying attention to them hoes, man.
All right.
If you
what's hilarious is that we actually posted a tweet about that. In response, we responded to that tweet.
Right.
So yeah, you can just go look at some what I liked. I think it's on one of my.
I didn't, but I responded now. Look.
Yeah, I mean, I think for most women, the biggest issue is as long as you're taking care of your other responsibilities, we don't care.
Right.
They're like, I just want somebody that makes money and not worry. This girl said she will break the TV and the PS5. Now you got to look at her. I was like, no.
You know how much that costs? Oh, you do know how much that costs? That's money.
No, she don't know. She don't know. Yeah. If I understand, if you don't want to play with if you don't want to deal with no guy that play video games because you don't like him, that's fine. But you're not for the diss every man.
They want him in the streets. They want him out there in them streets or something. Like what's
that? Right. And that's exactly what they want. They want him in the streets. I'm like,
Nah, see, that's a whole other podcast. We could talk about that one.
That's a whole nother podcast. But
I got a lot to say on that topic, to be honest with you, because my husband's he's a gamer, and I have no problem with it at all. I mean, he takes care of it what he's take care of. As far as performance in the bedroom, well, Yeah, I'm not gonna share that information, but everything's good over here. So.
Well, you essentially just did share that information.
Right. Everything good. She said everything good. Okay. Jazzy New, what it do? Anybody play? Anybody think? What did you think of The Mandalorian this week? I never watched it.
Oh! I've already told Delilah, you better hurry up and watch this shit because I'm getting look. I can't keep holding this shit in. I can't. Okay.
I'll make sure I watch it this evening. I'll make sure.
Man, it was the best. It was everything you needed in your Star Wars life.
Okay, I'm gonna do one more question.
Anyone else watch it? I
said I never watched it. I never watched it. I ain't watched one.
Well, you haven't seen the series at all. But
at all.
Inferno, are you watching it?
I saw the first season only. I haven't seen anything past that. But
man, y'all suck.
I'll be that.
Wow.
I'll be that.
Wow.
That's cool. I get it.
What the hell's wrong with y'all?
All right. I'm gonna get one more. Jazzy New, you had a couple of questions, but we answered like half of the questions that you asked here. So I'm gonna get this last one. Did you all set a gamer score / trophy goal for the year, or did you just want to be?
Yeah, I did. I set mine for 85,000. I don't think I'm gonna hit that though.
I let it be.
I definitely don't set no
For
goal.
this year or for next year?
For
No,
this
this
year.
year.
I set it for this year.
I'm
So for 2020, like did
Yo.
you set a goal for gamer score?
Dang,
Are you talking about?
You asking me?
Apparently not. Everybody.
Oh,
Like,
okay. I was waiting.
Everybody.
I wish I could do that. Like, I wish I could get, when you play these shooters over and over and you're playing a lot of multiplayer games and you're not getting any achievement score, it's like, damn, man, this guy literally just, completed the first mission in this game and got 30 gamer score. Can you throw me a bone for like, having a 5.0 KD or something? But like, that's the problem. Yeah, that's the problem. But like, when you're primarily a social multiplayer gamer, like your gamer score really suffers. So I don't set a goal. If I get 1,000 gamer score in a game, I'm super happy about it, but that's rare. So
Same.
I
used to set that.
Go ahead, Charisse. Okay. My gamer score trophy goals is getting these bills paid and not get sick off the Rona, and then I'll play some games. That's two.
Go, but I don't anymore.
I'm sorry, Charisse. I didn't hear that part at all. You like broke up a little bit. What did you were saying?
And now we can't hear it.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I got it. I got bills, and and I'm staying healthy. That's the two more important goals of the year. And if I get to play a game, I'm with Inferno on this one though, because I be playing hella multiplayer games, and we don't be winning nothing.
Right? They don't give us anything.
and shafted. Yep.
So yeah, we might do a little achievement hunt next year, man. If it gets if this year's like if next year's gonna be like this year, I think we should do another achievement hunt, us ladies.
Yeah, we'll have to invite more people because I think last year we did it with Prophecy and them. So maybe we need to include like Inferno and I guess everybody that's on the GWG the Discord, right? And have like a full-on competition.
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Game Pass for the win. All right, guys. I think that's it. I think we've talked long enough today. Great conversation with everybody here on the panel. And yeah, with all you guys in the chat, you guys have been lively this entire time, so we appreciate that. And I hope you guys had a beautiful Thanksgiving and looking forward to Christmas. For me, I already got my decorations up. But yeah, let's go ahead and do our outros again. Thank you for coming on the show with us, Inferno. We really appreciate it. But yeah, go ahead and start with your outro.
I am very happy to finally be on. I will be an honorary grown woman anytime you want to have me. But it was good to be on a podcast again. Like I said, I haven't been on a lot of podcasts recently. Life has just been busy and all that. And it was great to talk games with realistically knowledgeable people. And you guys know that Grown Gaming is one of my favorites, and when I can get here on Saturdays, I'm always here, and got a great Discord, y'all. Get in there. If you're not in there, you need to be in that Discord, and get on those game nights. But as for where you can find me, primarily on Twitter, just _Inferno217 and then on Xbox, add me. I'm Inferno217. PlayStation, unfortunately, some British guy has had it inactive for the past 11 years, and I am just a little salty about it. So I am Fernie217 on there instead of Inferno217.
Man, 11 years though. Yo.
Yep, I've petitioned PlayStation, Sony multiple times. They will not make me give it up. I'm very salty, and so yeah, and my Switch code, I'm not going to shut that out. That's way too long.
Right.
But
they need to figure it out. Like, come on.
Yeah, exactly, right. But yeah, again, thanks for having me on.
All right, thank you. All right, so lady, where can the people find you?
You can find me at lady_infamous415 on Twitch. We play those games. It don't matter. We just playing them games. You can check me out on my YouTube channel, Lady Infamous 415. I try to be consistent over there. We got a couple of videos out there, and you can check me at my side piece, aka Twitter, Lady Infamous 415, all in one word. Birthday stream coming up. We got the Cyberpunk 2077 giveaway coming up.
Yes.
And you know how generous we may or may not be during the holiday season. So we gonna do some things. And thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you guys next week.
All right, Delilah, you want to go?
Yes, you all know you can find me on Twitter, Delilah_HD. Man, that's pretty much it. No side piece, no nothing. Just on Twitter.
Okay. All right. CHAREECE, are you back? I don't think so. Y'all can find CHAREECE on Twitter, on Twitch. Yeah, Twitter and Twitch mainly. She'll be on that extra early morning streams. So make sure you guys go check her out there. Again, thank you for coming. It's LBOOGIE 0208. I'm going to try to get back streaming on Twitch more regularly this week. So make sure you head to catch me over there on Twitter all the time. And again, we have that giveaway for Cyberpunk. It'll be given away on December 9th, I believe. So you'll be able to download it in enough time and everything, all that goodness. And make sure you guys retweet it, follow us here, and spread the word. And love, peace, and chicken grease. Make sure you wash your hands, wash your ass. All that good
That
stuff.
was a long time. Love, peace of chicken,
Right?
You know, we old. We are old. We are old.
You are.
Real quick.
Did I say y'all? I meant to say us.
Wow. Okay.
All right, y'all. Thanks.